Hi, this is Pragati. Welcome back to my channel, and I'll start today's video with this clip which I'm sure a lot of you would have seen.
Success on an academic level would have been quite likely because you can publish some useless paper, and most papers are pretty useless.
We have a few. Don't take offense.
I mean, how many PhD papers are actually used by someone ever?
So recently, somebody shared this clip with me and commented that, see, Elon Musk says that PhD thesis is actually a waste. It's really hurtful to hear such comments when you have devoted like 5 years of the golden period of your 20s to your PhD, and one reaction could be to simply ignore, as we do for most of the crap around. But if we think about it seriously, then imagine how many people are being misled by the half-baked information in these viral clips of just 30 seconds. And most people don't even know the context in which the statement has been given and don't even bother knowing about it. So here in this video today, I'll try to explain, I'll make an attempt to explain what a PhD thesis is and how is it actually helpful. Okay, so what most people know about a PhD degree is that PhD एक बहुत ही लंबा कोर्स होता है, 5-6 साल तक चलता रहता है, एक थीसिस लिखनी होती है, हर महीने कुछ स्टाइपेंड आ जाता है, एंड मास्टर्स के बाद कुछ समझ ना आए तो PhD कर लो. What most people don't know about a PhD is that what actually is a thesis. जो लोग वो 5-6 साल तक मोटी सी किताब लिखते रहते हैं, उसमें एक्चुअली लिखा क्या होता है. आई टेल यू. पीएचडी में हम एक बहुत ही छोटे से टॉपिक पे इन डेप्थ स्टडी करते हैं. लाइक यू चूज वन नीश टॉपिक एंड यू स्टडी एवरीथिंग इन एंड अराउंड दैट टॉपिक. आई विल एक्सप्लेन विद एन एग्जाम्पल. This example is not from my thesis. It's from one of the projects I did in the past. It's already published. If you are really interested, you can go and check my Google Scholar profile. So now suppose that your thesis is titled Air Pollution and Health Expenditure. This means that you are studying everything related to the linkage between air pollution and health expenditure. How does air pollution impact health expenditure? Or the other way around, how does health expenditure impact air pollution? Then the first thing that your thesis is going to have is motivation. Why is this study at all important? In this case, it could be that air pollution is a major problem in India, and people in India are spending more than 30% of their income on health expenses like hospital bills and medicine bills. So is it air pollution that is contributing to these high health expenses? And if yes, then how much? The second thing that your thesis is going to have is a review of the literature. This means अब तक जितनी भी स्टडी हो गई है इस टॉपिक के आसपास इससे रिलेटेड उसकी समरी. You'll have to go through all the papers that have been written like around this topic, at least 100 papers, and like you have to start from the very beginning and you have to show कि अब तक ये काम हो गया है इस टॉपिक के आसपास, लेकिन exactly इस टॉपिक को किसी ने अब तक स्टडी नहीं किया है. That is why you are studying this topic in your thesis. The third thing is mechanism. You need to have logic and credibility for every claim that you make in your thesis. You can't just cook up any story that, okay, it rained in Bangalore today and it led to the loss of India in the cricket match going on in Mumbai. So if someone is studying how does air pollution impact the health expenses of a family, then that person can claim that air pollution leads to more airborne diseases like asthma, breathing problems, whatever pollution related diseases, and that is leading to a rise in health expenses of a family. Sounds very simple, right? But no, it's not that simple. You have to prove that air pollution increases the risk of airborne diseases or use some study which makes this claim in the past. The fourth thing that your thesis is going to have is data set. ये सब स्टडीज़ करने के लिए डेटा की ज़रूरत पड़ती है एंड आपको एक ऐसा डेटा सेट ढूंढना पड़ेगा विच सॉल्व योर पर्पस एंड इन केस ऐसा कोई डेटा सेट नहीं है तो आपको खुद डेटा कलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा, विच इज़ कॉल्ड प्राइमरी सर्वे। आपको क्वेश्चन डिज़ाइन करना पड़ेगा, सैम्पलिंग करनी पड़ेगी, सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक्स डिसाइड करनी पड़ेगी। दीज आर वेरी टेक्निकल थिंग्स विच आई वुड नॉट वांट टू टॉक अबाउट इन दिस वीडियो, but yes, you will have to conduct a survey for at least 1,000 families. It's a whole task. In my project it consumed like more than a year. The next thing is a lot of econometrics and statistics. अगर आप 2014 का डेटा यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है कि 2014 के अंदर बहुत सारी और चीज़ें हो रही हैं जो एक्चुअली हो रही थी। फॉर एग्जांपल गवर्नमेंट बदल गई, क्या पता नई गवर्नमेंट ने ट्रीटमेंट कॉस्ट बढ़ा दी, क्या पता नई गवर्नमेंट ने मेडिसिन के ऊपर टैक्सेस बढ़ा दिए बिकॉज ऑफ विच मेडिसिन आर मोर एक्सपेंसिव नाउ, और मे बी इन्फ्लेशन हो रहा था बिकॉज ऑफ विच हेल्थ एक्सपेंसेस आर राइजिंग, यू नेवर नो. So in your thesis you have to prove that health expenditure is rising only because of a rise in air pollution and nothing else. अब ये कैसे होगा? This will require the use of econometrics techniques. So you will have to study this whole subject and choose your technique. Finally, the last thing that your thesis is going to have is a section on results and conclusions. सपोज आपने प्रूव कर दिया कि एयर पोल्यूशन बढ़ने से ही हेल्थ एक्सपेंसेस बढ़ रहे हैं. अब कुछ लोगों का रिएक्शन हो सकता है, सो व्हाट, मैं क्या करूँ इसका? येस, ट्रू, दिस रिजल्ट हैज़ नथिंग टू डू विद अ कॉमन पर्सन, but it is very very important for a person who is designing health policies or climate change policies. If air pollution is leading to more health expenses, then maybe government can assign more budget to airborne diseases, or maybe the government can direct government hospitals to focus more on patients who have airborne diseases, or this can also put pressure on the government to make strict rules about air pollution, that see air pollution से सिर्फ health खराब नहीं हो रही है, air pollution से economy भी खराब हो रही है. अब कुछ लोगों का रिएक्शन हो सकता है कि इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, isn't this very obvious? Let me tell you that it only sounds obvious, it is not so obvious. ठीक है, आप लिंक बिठा लोगे कि ओके एयर पोल्यूशन से हेल्थ एक्सपेंसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, बट हाउ मच? ओके, इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है, बट कितना इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है? ओनली इफ द इम्पैक्ट इज सिग्निफिकेंट, देन ओनली इट इज समथिंग टू बी कंसर्न्ड अबाउट, राइट? अ पॉलिसी मेकर ऑलवेज नीड्स नंबर्स. आप कुछ भी कहीं से भी हवा में नहीं लिख सकते हैं. That policy is going to impact a population of 1 billion and it is going to consume a huge part of the government budget. So you need to have some credibility to the suggestions you are making. The government keeps changing policies very frequently, and these recent studies or past studies can be used by these policymakers to make a basis for their suggestions. One can argue here that only few studies are used somewhere and rest are a waste. Yes, this is true, but हम 1000 आइडियाज़ पे काम करते हैं तभी तो एक अच्छा आइडिया निकल के आता है, right? Someone studied the law of demand and supply in his or her thesis in 1700s, and today the law of demand and supply is used everywhere. There are so many theorems in mathematics, physics, chemistry, which are a result of somebody's PhD thesis. अगर वो भी ऐसे ही सोचते तो कैसे होता, right? ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि इमीडिएटली किसी रिसर्च का यूज़ नहीं है, बट मे बी आफ्टर सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम दैट रिसर्च बिकम्स यूजफुल. देन देयर आर सम नीश थियोरेटिकल स्टडीज विच आर यूजफुल फॉर अ वेरी स्मॉल सेट ऑफ पीपल. आप सब लोगों ने एक न्यूज़ देखी होगी रिसेंटली, एन इंडियन PhD गाय डिकोडिंग सम एंशिएंट संस्कृत पजल एट कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी, एंड मोस्टली लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया होगा कि ये क्या है, क्या एक्चुअली इस बंदे ने किया क्या है. Do we speak in Sanskrit? No. Do we read ancient texts? No. But yes, it is useful for people who study history or who study ancient texts. Just because something is useful for a very small set of people, does that make it useless? No. Yes, it is true that maybe it is not so good from the popularity perspective or monetary perspective, but that doesn't make it useless, right? Also, that is not the motivation for everybody. Another thing that you need to understand is that if so much funding and grant is being given to PhD students and researchers at research institutes or universities, then government is not stupid. At decent places in India, the PhD stipend is more than 50,000 per month, and for your information, more than 50% of the population in our country is earning less than 50,000 per month. Going back to Elon Musk's video, just because a big personality has said something doesn't mean it's true. It's his opinion. Maybe PhD is not important or useful for him in running his business or designing his products, but for a person who wants to become a researcher or for a person who wants to become a professor, a PhD thesis is very, very important. A PhD thesis signals your skills. As in, a PhD thesis on air pollution and health expenditure will signal how much knowledge you have about environment economics, health economics, designing surveys, data collection, or econometric analysis. It will show how capable you are of teaching certain subjects and handling research projects. I hope I was able to make my point. Have a good day. If you like my video, like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.